London West.
Thank you, Speaker. For every generation, there is a defining moment, a moment that is seared into our collective consciousness and shapes the way we see the world. For many of us in this legislature, that moment was December 6, 1989, the day that 14 young women were systematically separated from their male classmates and murdered at École Polytechnique in Montreal. I remember the shock and incomprehension as I heard the news, the anger and the sorrow as I realized how inextricably bound I was to these 14 women, because of my age, because of my gender, because of my belief in my right to full and equal participation in economic and civic life. In the aftermath of that horrific event, the Canadian Labour Congress issued the powerful call to action, first mourn, then work for change. And in 1991, the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women was established in Canada, thanks to a private member's bill by NDP Member of Parliament Don Black. For 25 years, December 6 has become a benchmark for all of us because of what has changed and what has not changed in its wake. It is a day for us to join together and mourn the loss of those 14 young women and to remember those who continue to be injured or killed as a result of intimate partner violence, who continue to experience sexual assault, sexual harassment, and stalking. Equally important, December 6th is a day for us to reflect on what we are doing to change the social, political, and economic structures that perpetuate violence against women and children. Every day in Ontario, women and children flee abusive homes to take refuge in women's shelters, but many remain trapped in violent relationships because of poverty, discrimination, lack of affordable housing, lack of childcare, and an economy that relies increasingly on precarious work. For those who are employed, too often the violence follows them to their workplaces. For Aboriginal women, the reality of violence is much higher, with almost 1,200 Aboriginal women murdered or missing in Canada. For too long, this Liberal government has ignored recommendations on how to prevent intimate partnered homicides. It has relied on a piecemeal, project-based approach to domestic violence and sexual assault instead of advancing a comprehensive and integrated violence prevention strategy that recognizes ending violence against women as an economic and social justice imperative, a shared priority for every ministry, every sector, every community, and every citizen in Ontario. 25 years later, on this December 6th, let us commit to real change that will finally put an end to the scourge of violence against women.